How's it going, guys? I'm your host Korriban Gaming. Welcome back to a very special video. Okay, so this is going to be a rather lengthy video. I hope I don't ramble and keep repeating myself, but I'll try to keep it as to the point as possible. But yeah, as you guys can see from the title, 10 years on YouTube. I've been doing this for 10 freaking years already. So obviously I've been watching YouTube way before that, but I've only really started to upload videos on YouTube. In fact, the very first Adventure Quest video I uploaded was somewhere November 2014. So yeah, it's been 10 years. Okay, not quite 10 years yet. It will have to be November this year for it to be 10 years, but I'm just going to count the year. So yeah, this is my 10th year of doing YouTube, and I wanted to take a look back at the journey and how everything has been throughout these past 10 years, what I've learned, as well as the future plans for this channel. So throughout the 10 years, I now have a grand total of 4,257 subscribers at the time of making this video. And many of you guys might think, wow, 10 years just to get 4,000 over subscribers? That is very, very slow compared to some of the other channels out there. Like some channels got over 1 million subscribers within a short span of a year. But of course, they're doing different content. When you're doing very niche content, like the content I'm doing, I would say 10 years to get to where I am today, I think it's pretty decent already, considering all the challenges and hurdles I had to jump through. And I got a grand total of 1,652,000 views across all my videos. That is absolutely crazy. If you think about it, what I'm mainly doing videos for is about this super old 20-year-old Flash game. So the fact that I can get over 1.6 million views, that is really, really crazy. Okay. So back then, I uploaded my very first Adventure Quest video on this channel in November 2014, and that was, I think it was talking about, excuse me, a stat revamp at the time. Quite ironic, right? Because we are just in the face of a stat revamp right now. So 10 years ago, we had a stat revamp. That was the very first AQ video I uploaded to this channel. It was not the very first video, because the very first video was about something else. And back then, I did not know what direction I want to take this channel in. In fact, I wanted to be like a variety YouTuber. I wanted to cover a bunch of topics, a bunch of games, stuff that I like. But I quickly realized that, that's not how YouTube works. And by diversifying yourself so widely, it's only going to hurt your channel more than it's going to help it grow. So back then, of course, starting out, I had no idea how the algorithm worked, how everything worked, how to grow a channel, how to make proper thumbnails, how to have decent recording gear and all that. So back then when I first started, I was, how old was I? I was 16 years old. Yeah, I'm 26 this year, so I was only 16 years old back then. And back then, okay, I was still using this PC in my parents' room to record. So back then I did not have this PC that I have today. So previously, I had to share the PC with my parents, so if they wanted to use it, then obviously I would have less time for gaming, less time for recording and all that sort of stuff. So back then, I was using a very old, very crappy specs PC to record. It doesn't really matter because it still played the game fine and it could still record the videos fine. But I was also using this super cheap headset microphone to record, and it was like, what, a $20 microphone from the bookstore. Yeah, that was how pathetic my setup was back then. And that was it. There was no face cam. There was no fancy recording software. It's amazing because I'm still using the same game recording software, and that is HyperCam 2, but the one without the watermark. You can download it for free online. You don't need to pirate it or whatnot because it's literally for free. I'm still using it today because I think it's a very good software. It's very lightweight. It doesn't crash, doesn't have as many problems as OBS does. And yeah, it works fine. So why not keep using it? Don't fix what's not broken. That's always been the philosophy that I've lived by. So I've been stuck using that software even till today, 10 years later. Alright, with regards to recording software, I started out using Windows Movie Maker. But of course, as Windows 10 started to came out, they slowly removed Movie Maker from their lineup of stock apps, and you could re-download it, which I did at the start when they first removed it, but I realized that there were other better alternatives out there. Okay, back then I didn't have thumbnails also, so I just put up whatever design notes picture there were, or I just simply did not bother to make a thumbnail because YouTube will choose random parts of your video as thumbnail suggestions. So that was what I did back then. Alright, so back then I also did not have daily uploads. Okay, the upload frequency was more like maybe twice a week at most. I was only covering the weekly releases, and on top of that I was also uploading a bunch of random crap in between. It could be games, it could be some of my Nerf hobby. So yeah, it was a very jumbled up channel. The channel had no focus, no direction on where it wanted to go. There was also a lot of Clash of Clans. So previously I did want to make this like a Clash of Clans focus or centric channel with Dragon Faber and Adventure Quest at the same time. But of course, back then there were already a lot of huge Clash of Clans YouTubers, so I did not think that I could compete with the crappy setup, the crappy, you know, audio recording device and all that. So throughout the years, I think it's all the way up to around somewhere around 2020, so 2014 to 2020. The first 6 years, and the starting is always the roughest, because to get your first 100 subscribers, to get your first 1000 subscribers, that is the hardest journey for any YouTuber, because as a small channel, you don't have much publicity. The algorithm will not promote you a lot. You really need to put in the work. Alright, and there were two ways that you could get viral, or you could grow your channel on YouTube, and it is the same right now. So the first way is through consistency, okay, which means uploading at the same time, okay, having a fixed schedule, and basically you just have to keep uploading, whether it's a monthly upload, a weekly upload, or even a daily upload. You had to keep to that schedule, okay, and this keeps viewers coming back. Why? Because they know when they are going to expect a video, and they know exactly what to expect. That's assuming you're uploading the same content and not uploading a bunch of other random content in between, like what I used to do. Okay, so that was one of the ways. And the second way is to upload very, very high quality videos, but of course at a less at a slightly slower frequency. Okay, maybe some people roll out like one super high quality video per month. That's another way you could go about doing it. But as a new YouTuber, I did not have the editing skills, I did not have the software, and I definitely did not have the knowledge or the time to go ahead and learn and do all of these high quality stuff. Alright, and of course the gear, the physical gear is also quite important. I did not have money for a, you know, mic and the mic setup like I have nowadays. I did not have money to pay for software back then, you know. Movie Maker was not going to cut it. So yeah, throughout the years, I've been looking at a lot of the more bigger and more popular YouTubers. For Dragon Faber, is really only the Ruined Shadow. He's been around for the longest time, even longer than me. He started before me and he's still around nowadays, even though his uploads have been pretty, I would say, not as consistent lately. Okay, they've been pretty late. Sometimes they publish the stuff like 1 week later after the release comes out. Back then, he was always the first guy to do it. Okay, now it's me. Like, I think now it's only me who upload stuff on time every single release. Like, within hours of the release, you can expect to find a video from me. But yeah, back then it was him. Okay, and he has slowed down a lot. I'm not sure if it's just because he's also tired of doing this, but yeah. And with regards to Adventure Quest, back then it was already past Ziril's era. So Ziril was already not making videos for Adventure Quest. Back then there was a little bit of Ubear, but he also quit shortly after. There was Uber Hybrid. I think he was still pretty active when I first started, and then afterwards he quit somewhere along the way. There was BBFM, also a Singaporean YouTuber, okay, but he also quit shortly afterwards. And then there was also Zero Phantom, which did continue until quite a lot later, but eventually I think he also quitted the whole YouTube scene. So in today's era, I would say, apart from myself, okay, for Adventure Quest content, you can look for Brady Simmons, you can look for Gibby or Grace. These two are probably the next two biggest and most well-known ones apart from my channel. So yeah, I had a lot of idols that I look up to with regards to content creation. They were also the ones that inspired me to go ahead and start this whole thing. I'm like, hey, these guys seem to be having a fun time, you know, playing the game, recording the video, and then, you know, just uploading it, and people seem to love it and enjoy it. And as a player of the game myself, of course, I really did look forward to all of their uploads every single day, but eventually they did stop. So but I just continued doing my own thing. Excuse me, even though most of them did quit along the way, I still continued daily uploads. And it wasn't until late 2020, almost nearing the end of 2020, that I started daily uploads. So from the end of 2020 all the way up to today, 2024. Almost 4 freaking years. Okay, I guess I'll count it as 3 years. It's more accurate to say it's about 3 years. So 3 years daily uploads. I did not allow myself to stop. I did not allow any excuses or reasoning to get in the way of the daily upload. So that was always something that I strive towards. That was a goal that I had. Okay, I will make a video on the game every single day without fail, no matter what the occasion is. Even if I was going to be busy for the week, I would schedule the uploads in advance. I would do all the videos on weekends when I'm free. Like for example, if I have to go back to reservice or if I'm going to the army, I obviously can't be sitting at home, or obviously don't have a computer or a mic setup and all that, or camera setup in the army to be recording and uploading videos, right? So what I did was I recorded like 5, 6, 7 videos during the weekend, and then I'll schedule all of them to upload, okay, across the span of the week. So yeah, I kept up the daily uploads game all the way right up to today. Okay, so it did start off quite as a fun thing to do. In fact, YouTube did start off as a very fun thing to do for me. So, you know, I'll just play the game and then record whatever I enjoy and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know where, somewhere along the way, I think I did get caught up with the numbers a little bit. I'm not gonna lie here, okay, even though I always say that I'm doing this for fun, but somewhere along the way, I did get a little bit engrossed with the numbers. I was really concerned about, not about the revenue, because the revenue didn't start to kick in until like, I don't know when it was that I really started to get my first paycheck from YouTube, but I think it was only in maybe 2010, or it was slightly before that. No, it was, no, not 2010, sorry. That was definitely before that. No, 2020. I think it was in 2020 or 2019 when I had enough subscribers and views to be able to monetize my channel. The requirements are different already. YouTube has changed a lot, and I think it will continue to change over the years. So yeah, it was only until like 2019, 2020 that I was able to monetize my content, and I was very happy that wow, the channel is finally big enough for me to do that. Not that I really care about doing that, but you know, it's something I see as like a recognition of the hard work that I put in throughout the year. So like, what the heck, just went for it. And the YouTube paycheck that I got back then and right now, it's honestly about the same, if I'm being honest. Okay, the amount is about the same. It's literally the bare minimum that you need to withdraw. I'm not making big money from YouTube, guys. Like, look at the number of views that I have for each video, and look at my subscribers. It's not big money at all. It's very, very little money, and I don't get paid every month, okay, because I don't earn enough to withdraw every month. So there's a bare minimum that you need in order to withdraw the money every month. I think it's 150 Singapore dollars. Yeah, you need to make at least 150 Singapore dollars before you can withdraw it. And even today, I don't make enough to withdraw that amount every single month. The frequency will be about once every 2 months, maybe once every 3 months if it's slow. But there were some peak times, like when Josh first came back. Wow, like back then I was, you know, withdrawing that amount every single month, because, you know, the videos really just kept going up in views. Some of my old videos, some of the new videos, yeah, everything. But now it has slowed back down to the regular speed that it was, which is like the bare minimum amount every 2 months, every 3 months. Okay. It was definitely not enough to cover the cost of making the videos, because in a lot of my content, you'll see that I cover a lot of the premium stuff, and all of these is paid out of my own pocket. Okay, number one, it's because, you know, I got to have something to showcase to you guys, right? You know, I'm just talking about the items a lot without showcasing them. Who's going to watch? Anybody can make a video on that, but that's not what people want to see, alright? I know for some stuff, I still only talk about it. I don't really buy them. I don't buy every single item because I'm not rich. I'm not a mega whale, but I dare say I'm definitely at least a dolphin, okay, in some of the games that I play. So I try to showcase as much as I can. If I think it's really good, I'll go ahead and buy it. But if I think it's not good enough or not suitable for what I'm trying to play, then, you know, I'll just gloss over it or talk about it. So that's what I did, and it got me to where I am today. Alright, along the way, I did pick up a lot of skills. I did try to improve the quality of the videos. Like this PC that I got right here, okay, it was paid for using my own money when I entered the army. Okay, that was about, oh my god, how long ago has it been since I've been in the army? I think it was 2020, or was it 2021? I don't remember. So yeah, back then when I was in the army, I did get a little bit of allowance. Okay, they don't even call it a salary because it's a very pathetic amount. So using the amount of money I saved up, and then eventually I went to Sim Square and I picked out the parts. Alright, bought all the parts, brought it back home, and I built this PC on my own. Alright, so it's not the best PC, but it works. Okay, I can't remember what the processor is, but the graphics card is a 1660 Super. You don't need a good graphics card to play Adventure Quest. I mean, so yeah. The graphics card is kind of basic. I did spend a bit more on the CPU because I know I needed a more powerful CPU for editing. Okay, and I think it's 8 cores. Okay, so when I started, 8 cores was already above average. Alright, so when I first started building this, I think the standard for most people is still like 4 cores or 6 cores. So this is an 8 core CPU. Of course, nowadays the standard is almost like what, 16 cores already, something like that. I'm not really been keeping up a lot. Alright, and then the amount of RAM, it only had 16 gigs. I was thinking whether I should go for 32, but I didn't plan that far ahead. I didn't really bother to future-proof it, so I only got 16 gigs of RAM back then. And then this dual monitor setup, I got this from, I think it was AliExpress. Was it AliExpress? Or was it Lazada or Shopee? I can't remember. So these two monitors that I have, Acer monitors, I know you guys can't see it. And there's also the 2 wall mounts that I have, which I also got on some online shopping platform. And this mic over here, I bought it in, I think it was 2020. Okay, when I really wanted to ramp up my content. So I only had this mic. Okay, I didn't have this boom arm. I didn't have this, forgot what this thing is called, this circular thing. I didn't have the pop filter as well. So the mic was just placed here. Okay, and I also bought this Logitech camera that you guys can't see, but it's always facing me. Alright, so this Logitech camera. So when I bought this and this entire setup together, I think it was somewhere in 2020. Alright, and then along the way, I started to upgrade the setup a bit more. I got the boom arm for the mic, so I could mount it up here. I got this circular mounting thing. I forgot the name of it. I got a pop filter as well. And yeah, I also started to ramp up the quality of the content I was putting out. Maybe adding in a little bit of edits here and there, making an intro, making an outro, and then of course, you know, putting all the fancy schmancy stuff that makes the video looks pretty, you know, with the overlay and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I started doing all of that. And I also did start making thumbnails of my own. So nobody taught me anything. All of this is self-taught. And I think it's really amazing that as a YouTuber, there's a lot of things that you have to learn on your own. And I really did learn a lot from this YouTube career thing. Like I learned how to edit videos. I learned into what goes into making a good video. I learned about the algorithm, and all of this, it was not taught. It was literally, you know, just experimenting to see what works, watching a lot of other content on YouTube to see what people are interested in. And I also did ramp up my thumbnail game. I learned a little bit of Photoshop on my own on the side. I wouldn't really call it learn. It's more like, okay, I wanted to do something. I have a vision of this thumbnail that I want in mind, and then I'll try and do it. And if I didn't know how to do like a certain part, like for example, maybe if I didn't know how to color this thing, I didn't know how to add the glow or whatnot, I'll just go on Google and type how to add glow in Photoshop, something like that. Alright, or how to change something, blah blah blah, and then I'll learn along the way, and that's how I get the thumbnails that I use nowadays. So nowadays I also started to grasp what makes a good thumbnail, what are stuff that people want to click on as opposed to something else. So I always use my own judgment as a metric as well. If I see that thumbnail, would it entice me enough to want to click on it? If yes, then I think that's a good thumbnail. If no, then I'll probably try and think of something else. Some thumbnails are better than others, I don't deny that, and that's on purpose. It's not that I don't know what's a good thumbnail, it's just that some videos that I want it to do well, I'll put in more effort to edit. I'll put in more effort for the thumbnail and all that. Some videos that I don't really care about, like the daily episode stuff, that one is more of like a quick and dirty, you know, I have a template for all of that, so it's more of like a quick and dirty, just edit in just change a little bit of the stuff here and there. That's like a less than a 5-minute job. That's like a 2-minute job, okay, for the thumbnail. And of course, the better ones, I will spend a slightly longer amount of time on it. Alright, depends on the videos and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was the whole YouTube journey and what I've learned along the way. So for those of you who aren't aware, there was also some drama that happened somewhere along the way. I think this was in 2021. Alright, back then, I never did share this with anyone, but I was also going through quite a tough period in my life at that point of time. Okay, nobody passed away. Alright, so don't go on assuming that. Alright, nobody passed away, but a loved one of mine was also hospitalized at that time. Very unfortunate timing and series of events. So back then my mental state was just not very good. On one hand, this big bunch of very loud haters, attacking me every day, blah blah blah. And on the other hand, I was also juggling my own family stuff. Alright, like I had to shuttle between the hospital and making videos every day. And I think back then was I still in the army? I'm not really sure. No, I just came out of the army. Yeah, I think I just came out of the army and I was getting ready to start on my university. Yeah, I think that was the time. So very, very rough period in my life. And that really opened my eyes. That really showed me that a bunch of people that have been supporting me over the years, they were not my true friends. Okay, they were very quick to turn on me the moment something went wrong. And yeah, it's a shame. I have to say it's a shame that I no longer have some of these people around. What I thought were good people, they were not good people at all. They were easily brainwashed. They did not want to listen to what I had to say, and they just joined in the crowd. So that even though I didn't show it, but I was of course a little bit saddened, and I of course was very, very angry. At that point of time, there were a lot of wrong decisions that I made. Some things that I probably shouldn't have done, or I probably shouldn't have reacted in the way that I did. But what's past is past. Okay, but that incident also did show me who my true friends were, who were some of the viewers who would support me, who would stand by me no matter what happened. And no matter how much the numbers are, okay, no matter how big of a size of a YouTuber you are, I think I can say that this is the same for everyone. Once you grow past a certain number, you'll get haters, No matter what you do, some people will always think it's wrong. It's because they are very jealous people. They don't like to see people succeed. And I think this is true for like the AE community in general. Not just specific to any game, but just the AE community in general. I think it's quite sad. Okay, that most of the larger YouTubers, they have their own bunch of haters. And I do not know why the AE community can't be more supportive of their bigger YouTubers. A lot of the smaller YouTubers, they get a lot of support, but I think it's because they are small. More people don't know about them, but all the big YouTubers, they have haters in some way. Even the biggest AE YouTuber, which I think is Corey right now, with over 70,000 subscribers, he definitely has this bunch of haters, which I think the AE community can definitely be a bit more supportive to their YouTubers, because I have to make this very clear that we are not getting paid by AE. I don't think any single AE YouTuber or content creator out there gets a single cent from AE. At best, we get a few exclusive items added into our account or like made in the game for us. And I think that's only true for like 1 or 2 people, okay? And there's like hundreds of AE YouTubers out there. I think only Corey got his own item inside of AQWers. Go Raven, I think he gets a little bit of perks as well. Those two are like the official AE content creators. MyComp, I'm not really sure if he got anything, but yeah, apart from like these 3, everybody else, we get nothing from AE. We rarely get shoutouts, if we even do get shoutouts, okay? We don't get any extra perks or all that. Everything that we do for the content is paid out for of our own pocket. We don't get sponsored or all that. And I think AE could really do a lot more to help their own content creators. Okay, more on that later on. Alright, so yeah, anyways, back to the point. Okay, so it really did show me who my true friends were, and to those people who stuck around even till today, to those people who continue to show me support, I know most of them, they don't really voice it out as much as the haters do, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the kind messages. I did receive a lot of PMs, and during that time, asking me to stay strong, telling me that they'll continue to support me. I'm very, very appreciative of that. Okay, and I'm so happy and glad to have met these people. Alright, so fast forward to today. There's still some remnants of the drama left, but I think for the most part, most people don't care about it already. And the people who have stuck around, yeah, you're amazing. Y'all know who you are. Alright, now moving on to the AE community as a whole. So I already mentioned most of what I wanted to say, already. But yeah, I feel like the staff, okay, this is not the community, not the players, but the staff, they need to do more to support the content creators, okay? It costs them nothing, and what we are doing is basically giving them free marketing for the game every time we upload a video, okay? AE has stopped all forms of marketing already. Okay, I'm not seeing all the AQS ads anymore. In fact, I haven't seen one for a very, very long time. Back then, I know they use Google ads, so I was seeing like AQS advertisements everywhere. Okay, maybe they had a bigger budget back then, but right now they are doing zero marketing. They are not doing anything to promote their content, and anything that the bigger YouTubers, like maybe someone like Josh Strife Hayes, he happens to stumble upon this game, he'll just do it. Okay, and that's basically the only form of marketing that they get is when like a super big YouTuber like Josh Strife Hayes, or even back then when they had what's his name again? Was it Asmon? Yeah, Asmon Go. Okay, he stumbled upon, wait, no, was it Asmon? No, it wasn't Asmon. Asmon Go discovered AQ Classic, but he didn't try out the game. There was also, who was the other guy? Moist Critical. Yeah, Moist Critical. Okay, he discovered AQ was or AQ 3D. I can't remember. I think it was AQ 3D. Yeah, he also talked about it. So only when these bigger than usual YouTubers or streamers, they discover the game, yeah, that's the only form of publicity that AE gets. Everything else is what all of us smaller YouTubers combined have put in. That's your marketing. And I don't know if AE is genuinely doesn't realize this, or they just cannot be bothered. Like, we content creators, we don't ask for anything in return, but it'll be nice to give us some recognition, give us more frequent shoutouts to help boost our channel, because we are marketing your game for you every day when you're doing nothing to promote your own game. Alright, and some of the games, they have not held up well over the years. Okay, most of the players nowadays are old players that have stuck with you, that have been playing your game since they were a kid, myself included. Alright, and that is why people are still playing your games. It's because of that nostalgic factor. If I have to be very honest, none of the games can keep up with the current games nowadays in terms of quality, in terms of whatever the heck you want to talk about it. Alright, and that's a fact. Alright, whether it's mechanics wise, art wise, maybe yes. Okay, I think there's some very talented artists that you have, but mechanics wise, gameplay wise, I think it's not as good as what we have today. So the players who are playing the game, most of them, they are not new. They are returning players. Alright, and these returning players return for one thing, and that is nostalgia. How many of them actually stick around? You guys don't have anything in any of your old games that makes the players want to stick around. And you don't have anything in any of your games that that will make or entice new players to join the game. So if you look at it, if you can't retain your old players and you can't get new players in, then your game is just going to slowly die, right? So I do not know why AE isn't doing more to combat this, because I think it's a very worrying issue. Okay, like, if your players start to decline to the extent whereby you have close to no players left, and AE is not a big game company by any chance. Their biggest game, AQWers, you don't even get 10,000 daily users. Okay, apart from some big event like the whole Chicken Cow April Fool's event. But yeah, you don't even get 10,000 daily users on AQWers. Maybe across all your games add up, you have just nice 10,000 per day. But is that enough to sustain the game company? I think it is enough to sustain it, but is it enough to grow the company? Definitely not. And you know, players are always asking for more, better content. How do you do that if your company cannot expand? Alright, I don't have the accounting books of Artix Entertainment, so what I said could be completely wrong. Maybe they are growing, I don't know, but it certainly doesn't feel that way. Alright, if you look at the amount of players every day, look at the amount of staff, and it's always the same people talking about the game, always the same people playing the game, and the whales are always the same people, and a lot of whales have left as well throughout my time in this game. So to me, at least from my very, very limited perspective as a player, I can see that the game is actually declining. It's not growing. How is this not worrying your staff? Okay, do you want the game to slowly die out? Maybe that's your aim, I don't know. But why are you not doing more things to promote the game? And this doesn't cost you money. You know, as content creators, you don't have to pay us in money. You could give us some game items or make some exclusive items for us. That's so easy to do, but we would be so appreciative if you just do this for us. Like, it costs you nothing to add like 500 DCs to our account, something like that. It costs you nothing to give us like a month of membership. It costs you nothing to give us codes to give away to our community. I know some of them do, but but these are like very, very specific cases, and I know for the most part they actually don't do that. But yeah, it costs your company nothing to do all this. So why aren't you doing more for your content creators so that in turn they can help you to market your game? You know, it's not that we are working towards these stuff, but it's more like, you know, if you could recognize our efforts, we'll be so happy to do that. All right. And next up, I want to talk about player feedback in this game. Right, player feedback in this game, not just this game, but I would say all AE games in general. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of debate, okay, over how player feedback should be handled. But to me personally, as someone who has just recently came out in the workforce, I think it's very important to listen to what your customers want. And I think that should be the goal and the aim of every company, to please as many of your customers as possible and not the other way around. You don't straight up reject your customers' request or tell them something can't be done. You try and you do your best to make it possible so that you retain as much customers as possible. And on top of that, these customers in turn, they will help you by promoting the game for you, you know, telling their family and friends, hey, this is a really great game. You know, they really take in customer feedback very seriously. They are willing to change. Not that they don't listen to feedback. I think for the most part, most AE games, they do listen to feedback. But I don't know how much of this feedback is what the majority wants, okay? You know, there's always this thing about the silent majority and the vocal minority. I think a lot of feedback that are processed, that are added into the game is because of a vocal minority. And I don't mean this for any specific game. I know a lot of you are probably going to link this to AQ Classic, but no, I think it's for all their games in general, okay? A lot of the feedback that they take in is from the vocal minority. But staff, do you ever stop to listen and look and do more research into what the silent majority wants? Okay, these silent majority, they don't have a channel, they are casual players. They might not even be watching videos on YouTube, but what do they want? Okay, how do you find out what they want? And it's from all the random small people that only comes in to comment or to talk about something maybe once every 100 posters or once every 100 videos that people make. Alright, you need to get up all these small comments and they add up because these people, they don't comment very often, but they make up the majority of your player base. I think that's the same for every game. You always have the silent majority and the vocal minority. If you keep pandering to what the vocal minority wants, then a silent majority is slowly starting to dwindle. You can make the argument that yes, the vocal minority are the ones who are the most passionate about the game. That's true, I don't deny that. But you also need to cater to the larger portion of your customer base. And if you don't do that, eventually that larger portion is going to shrink. And if you keep pandering to the small vocal minority, then that is what your game is going to be left with, the small vocal minority player base. Is that enough to support and continue to grow and expand your game? The answer to that is no. Alright, so keep in mind, okay, the feedback of other people who may not be as vocal, who may not be as active, they are important as well. Alright, and that brings me to my next point, which is staff behavior. When it comes to handling these feedback, I think most of the time it's done well, but sometimes it's done very poorly either. AE over the years is no stranger to drama, it's no stranger to horrible stuff, horrible mods and all that. Okay, but I think a lot of time, their first course of action is to defend their staff, which isn't wrong. I mean, as a company, you should be defending your staff, but you also have to look at the situation and try to understand your customers better. Why do people raise such complaints? Is it justified? And why must you wait for something to blow up in your face before you're willing to take accountability for it? Why must you wait till people start to go public with all the accusations before you're willing to step in and, you know, hand out the disciplinary punishment? I get that it's not something that any game company or HR department would like to handle, but it's something that you need to handle. You need to trim the fat. You need to know who is doing the best for their company and who is actually hurting your company, okay, with the remarks, with the way they treat your customers and all that, okay. From a game company perspective, staff is replaceable. I wouldn't say easily replaceable, but they are replaceable. And you know, if someone is not having the best interests for a company in everything that they do, then you need to reconsider whether such staff should continue to stay on in your company. Yes, they might have done a lot of good work for your company, but at the same time, you know, if they are treating your customers like shit, then and your customers are very obviously unhappy with it, then maybe it's time you do something about that. Maybe you don't fire them, or maybe you don't demote them, But I think the very least you could do is to stop these people from commenting or talking publicly in an official capacity, because this doesn't reflect well on your company, okay? So another incident that I did not bring up, okay, that I did not talk about was AEO. So very recently, I got banned from AEO. For those of you who are wondering why I'm no longer part of that Discord, it's because of some very silly and ridiculous remarks that honestly shouldn't even be worthy of a ban, but for some reason they decided it was enough of a ban. And customer support, which I've always praised in the past, they were not very willing to help. And even after I raised it up to Alina, I do not know if they actually passed on my message to Alina. But if they didn't, then shame on you, because I specifically told them to do that. But if they did, then, you know, I think Alina is a good problem solver. It's just that I don't know if the message got across to her directly, because I did not speak to her directly. I did not get a chance to speak to her regarding this issue directly. It was all through customer support, and there was a lot of negative stuff that I brought up about customer support. So I don't know if they actually passed on the message to her. But yeah, the reason that they gave for my ban, it was very ridiculous. I'm not going to show it, but all I can say is that, you know, they only started to dig up the reasons after I asked them for it. So they don't know what they are doing. All right, customer support does not know what they're doing. They do not have the full context. They are pulling messages out of context and trying to nail me to the wall. It's quite ridiculous, because some of these messages, they include jokes between me and my friend. There was very obviously a joke, okay, because there were laughing emojis. They included messages of me helping and giving advice to other players. This is considered ban-worthy? What? Hello? Like, the ridiculousness of it. Like, they have zero context. They have zero idea what they are doing. Okay, this is for the Discord mod team. Alright, fuck you guys. Alright, please get a better mod team. Please have your mod team evaluate the truths and the context behind each and every message before, you know, you just randomly send it out like that. I felt like it was done by an intern, because the person who told me the reasonings, it felt like they had completely zero idea what was going on, and it was just some orders from the higher ups. Hey, go ahead and ban this person. And then they just did it. And when they are asked for the reason, they do not know anything about it. So they randomly put together some garbage screenshots or some quotes that you said, and then they just copy paste and send it to you without knowing any context whatsoever. And that resulted in the situation I had today. Okay, I have no intention of going back anymore, but yeah, be very wary of your actions, because the staff are listening. And there's also this whole behavior that I really dislike. There's a lot of bootlicking when it comes to this, okay? If the staff likes you and the mods like you, it doesn't matter what you say, okay? They will find some reason to make you not guilty, and vice versa. If they don't like you, they can nail you to the wall for anything that you say, even if it's not offensive, even if it's not rule breaking. They can try to pull strawman arguments, all that kind of nonsense, and try to ban and silence you. AE as a whole, you know, as a game company, they do not like negative feedback, and that is horrible for your company, okay? If you're not willing to listen to the negative feedback, then you're never going to improve, okay? Sure, feedback that are rude, feedback that's garbage, that's not constructive, you should ignore them. I fully agree. But some feedback is constructive. It's something that you should listen to, but you don't listen to because these are the people that you do not like and you do not care for what they want to say. Okay, that's why you never improve. And I feel like AE, they are in a very privileged position, because as much as they have their core group of haters, AE as a company, I would say they do have a group of haters that, you know, are strongly against whatever they do. Alright, in the past I could never really understand why, but now I'm starting to understand a little bit. I don't want to become one of these people, don't get me wrong, okay? But I try to be very fair, you know, when I give out judgment to cases. Alright, like when they do something good, I praise them for it, okay? Look through all my videos, I have given them praise multiple times. But at the same time, they do something bad, I also am not afraid to give them very harsh criticism, constructive criticism, okay, and give them solutions and suggestions on how they can improve. Most of the time, they don't take this into account, which kind of sucks. But I hope that they'll be more willing and open to listening to constructive feedback and improve their systems. Because otherwise, like I said, the company is just going to continue going downhill. Eventually, you won't have enough players to sustain it, and boom, that is going to be the end of your company. Alright, so like I said, AE is in this very privileged position because they have this very hardcore blind group of supporters that will support and praise the staff no matter what they do. Even if they make a mistake, oh, never mind. You know, they are a small team. Even if they can't get something done on time, oh, never mind, they are a small team. They have zero expectations for the game and for the staff as a whole. Is that good for the game? No, it's not good to have no expectations whatsoever. We players, we are also your customers. It's only right that we expect something in return. That's why we will keep coming back to your game. That's why we'll keep spending time to play your game. That's why we will spend money to buy stuff in your game. It's because we expect something out of it. We expect something good. And if you fail to deliver, then it's only right that you get criticism. Am I right to say that? Alright. It doesn't matter if you're a small team. It doesn't matter whether you have time or not. Okay? None of that matters. Because this is a business transaction. Alright? You give us something good, we continue to play and spend time on the game. As realistic, as practical as that sounds, that is reality, okay? AE is not just a game company, it's also a business, alright? And that is what you need for a business to do well. I think a lot of people don't understand or they neglect the business aspect, okay? But you cannot neglect this because if the business doesn't succeed, the game will close down, alright? You need the business to succeed in order for the game to continue so that we can continue to play the games for many, many more years to come. And I feel like they are not the staff, they are not doing everything in the best interest of the company to keep the games alive. They are not doing enough. I wouldn't say they are not doing it at all, but I would say they are not doing it enough. Should they do more? Yes. But at the same time, they are short-handed, so should they hire more staff? Also yes. But like I said, it's a vicious cycle. How do you hire more staff, get more manpower if you don't expand your game? You need to invest something, okay? You either need to make more pay-to-win stuff, so you can get more revenue and then spend the revenue hiring more people to improve the quality of your game, or you just need to fork some money out of your own pocket. I'm not sure if Adam Bond's gonna do that. Fork some money, invest a bit in the marketing department, invest a bit to hire more staff for your game. You know, that way, that's how you can continue to make better games. Instead of, you know, pulling stuff from all of your old games and then dumping them into your new project or into some failed projects like AQ3D, which I tried out yesterday. And then all your single player games, they've been reduced to like a skeleton crew of like 1 to 2 staff members. But do not forget this, AE. Don't forget your roots. You started out with single player games. That was how you got your success. Why are you neglecting these games, okay? Apart from AQWers, which is obviously their golden goose, alright, that game, I think it's justified to have that many people working on it. But stuff like AQ3D, let's be honest, I don't think it's doing that well. Why do you spend or invest that many resources into it? Why aren't more resources being spent into helping to upkeep your older games, into helping to upkeep what players come back for? I think a lot of players, they remember the single player games and that is why they are back. So it's very important to keep the single player games alive, so you know when your returning players come back, they have something to come back to, something to enjoy. Okay, so that's my feedback and criticism of the company as well as the game as a whole. Going forward, do I foresee that this game company, Artix Entertainment as a whole, will continue to reach their 30 years anniversary at the rate they are going? No, I do not think so. Maybe AQWers might, but I think for some of their other games, it's been on a steady decline, okay? So, yeah, they gotta do something, man. Hopefully they watch this video, start to wake up, and do something to improve. Otherwise, I don't foresee this game company carrying on for the next 10 years. That's the unfortunate and sad true fact. Of course, I could be wrong. I love to be proven wrong, but that's my predictions. Do I think you should continue to play these games, okay, as a player? I personally, right now, I would say no. Because of my own experiences, but of course, everybody's experiences are different. So if you think it's still worth it to play, you can continue, but I see AE as a sinking ship. So I will not invest or continue to waste more of my time and money on the games. And that brings me to the last point, moving forward, okay? Some of you might have already known this. I think some of my closer friends already know this, and some of you that I've approached privately, I guess you guys already know this as well. But yes, this will also be the final video on this channel. I am quitting doing AE content for good. Okay, the main reason is not so much of the bad experiences that I've had, but it's more of, it's time for me to move on with my life. Okay, I've got a lot of, I'm 26 years old this year. I have a pretty decent paying job, but I do want to do more with my life, and eventually this whole content creation thing, it sort of became like a chore. Okay, at the start it was an enjoyment, then it became about chasing the numbers, and nowadays it's becoming more of like a chore. Okay, firstly, I'm not making a lot of money out of this. Okay, not that I care so much about the money, but more importantly, secondly, feels like I'm doing this every day for the sake of doing it, not so much because I enjoy it anymore. Okay, because on one hand, I still would like to see a little bit of growth on the channel. I think that is a little driving factor for all content creators out there, whether you like to admit it or not. Seeing the numbers go up, it's nice. Your views, your subscriber count, all that kind of stuff. I'm still growing, but I think it's time like I just put a stop to all this. Like it's not really getting me anywhere. And AE as a market, with the declining player base, I think there's a very limited cap with regards to where you can go. Alright, so I'm spending all this time, spending all this money, doing this every day, but I'm not going to grow big. I'm not going to get like 1 million subs doing this thing. Like, I think you're very, very capped. And it took me 10 years to get over 4,000 subscribers, daily uploads, daily grinding, okay? For people who are not willing to put in the effort, okay, and I know a lot of YouTubers, they don't have as much drive as I do to push for daily uploads. And that's not their own fault. People have their own lives outside of this, but I do not see anyone in the community currently, I'm sorry to say, for AQ Classic and Dragon Faber that has enough drive to push their channel to where I am today, because I do not think that they have the heart to do enough. And that's not their own fault, because AE doesn't give us enough content. They do not reward their content creators enough for it to be a worthwhile thing, for people to continue to push for this. So for those content creators who are still continuing to do this, continue to do it because it's fun for you, because you enjoy to do it. But don't make it such that it's a chore. Don't make it such that you're dreading to do and upload every day. Don't have that pressure on yourself. Alright. And don't expect this to go anywhere, because it's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to be very honest, okay? I feel like 4,000-5,000 subscribers, that is probably the ceiling of what you can reach for the single player games. For AQ Worlds, you can there is a potential to grow higher. Maybe you can go up to 70,000 like Corey. Excuse me, if you really put in the work. And I think if you really want to focus on AQ Worlds content, it's pretty easy to get a 5-digit subscriber count. But for the single player games, no, there's no market for it. Alright. Expect to spend more than 10 years to grow to that amount. Alright. That's all I have to say for the content creators. But yeah, I am quitting this channel for good. Okay, mostly because my own life, alright, I want to move forward. I want to spend more time with my family. I also want to start my own proper, legitimate side business. I'm planning on doing a startup soon, so I'm not gonna have time for all these on top of my full-time job. Alright, and I think it's time I let something go, because I'm already juggling like many things in my life. For those of you who know, you know that I'm a workaholic. I don't know, man. I just have a lot of stuff going on in my life, and something has got to go. I cannot upkeep every single thing at once. Alright, and I feel like it's time I let go of this channel and of AE as a whole. I'm not gonna be like the other YouTubers. I'm not gonna quit and then come back like 3 months later. Hey, surprise, motherfuckers, I'm back. No. When I say quit, I really mean quit for good. I've deleted all the templates from my channel, so 100% I am not returning to doing this content. Okay, I received a lot of messages already for those that I spoke to privately, asking me not to leave. All very nice people. But I'm sorry, all good things has to come to an end, and I am very glad and I'm very happy to be able to form this community that is over 4,200 people large. It just blows my mind when I first started. I never expected to be able to get to over 4,000 subscribers. 4,000 people, that's more than that's about the size of a SME, maybe even bigger than an SME. Yeah, it's bigger than most SMEs. Over 4,000 people who are, interested in what I have to say. And on my Discord server, over 600 plus, closing into 700 people soon, who are willing to talk to me, have fun with me, discuss about the game every single day. Like, I think it's just amazing. You guys are amazing. It's bittersweet, video to make for sure. On one hand, I'm very glad to have met this community. I am saddened that I have to leave, but on the other hand, I'm also happy that I can finally be free of, doing videos every single day. Some of you, I know what some of you are going to say. You're going to say, hey, just take a break, man, and come back. Or like, just don't do daily uploads anymore. Just upload twice a week like what you've done previously. Just cover the weekly releases. And to that, I'm going to say, I'm sorry. I made up my mind. I am definitely not going to be doing AE content anymore. Okay. Well, the video is almost an hour long, but yeah, what's going to happen to this channel moving forward? No more uploads. So if you guys want to unsubscribe, I guess you guys can unsubscribe. Okay, but support your other fellow AE content creators. It's not an easy job. It's a thankless job. And we don't get anything in return, okay? For Dragon Faber, I think the only person that I can really promote is the Ruined Shadow. Okay, he's been doing this longer than I am, and he's still around today. I think that's really commendable. So, support him. For Adventure Quest Classic, there's a lot of other smaller YouTubers, not as active, but the more active ones, I would say, is definitely Gibby and Brady Simmons. So, support the both of them. Ivona is also, I would say she's doing more live streaming than she is doing videos, but up and coming AQ Classic content creator as well, support her. There's more that you can find in my channel. I pinned it up for the other active AQ YouTubers. But yeah, big bomb announcement and a look back on my 10-year YouTube journey. I hope you guys have found the video interesting. If you have, please consider dropping your last like on this channel before you guys leave. Even though, I'm not going to be caring about this channel anymore. I'm going to leave it in the dust to rot. But show me some support, man. Last video of this channel. Drop a like before you leave. Maybe drop a comment as well. I will still continue to reply to comments on this channel if I see them, but probably not as, active as I used to be before. If you have any questions about the game, I don't think I'll be very updated on the game anymore moving forward, so you can direct them to my Discord. My Discord is going to continue staying up. I'm going to appoint someone as the new Discord owner. Okay, and they are going to be managing everything. Alright, so you guys will still have a place to chat, to hang out as members of my community. I'll probably still be sticking around, but probably not as active as before. If you need help, there's a lot of fantastic veterans in my Discord that can help you out with your gameplay. So don't think that the community is dead. No, I built this community up as a place for, as an alternative place for other people to come out, have fun and discuss. And I will continue to let it run for as long as I can. Just that I won't be the one managing it anymore. But with that being said, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I think I rambled on long enough. Alright, and there's no more next time. But this has been your host, Korriban Gaming. Peace out. Bye-bye.